Hello and welcome to the channel. I hope you're well and enjoying your fishing, if you are fishing. Today I'm going to tie a very well-known fly, a Gasolina, but this pattern is specifically for the early season, and that is the time of the year when I use it. Now I'm going to tie it in a size 18. And if you have seen the recent video where I was trying to beat the cormorants to the trout, this is the fly that I was using. Now that is it in a size 16, and the thumbnail at the start of the video is a size 14. So it's a fairly simple tying, but let's get into it. I have in the vise a size 18 light nymph hook, and this is a 2.8 silver bead. As you know, I only use silver beads generally at the beginning of the season. So let's get into the tying. I'm using a 12/0 black thread. This particular style of Gasolina is tied very much in the way of the original. The standard Gasolina that we nearly all use covers the complete body in hens 233. As I say, this is closer to the original tying. So I'll just trim up the tying thread. I'm going to use some coq de Leon for the tail, and this is a medium pardo. Size 18, you don't need that many fibers. I think I've got 4 there, possibly 5. Bring them 90 degrees to the stalk and pull them off. And tie them in. Pull them to length. Like so, and wind down to the rear of the shank and trim off the excess. Right, the Gasolina that I'm using is hens 233. This happens to be the pearl scudback, and I have taken a piece off and I'm going to tie that in. And wind up to the bead and trim off the excess. I'm just going to wind on a little more thread to create a bit of shape. And a bit thicker closer to the front of the perdigon. Right, now I'm just going to put a little bit of glue onto the fly to keep the tinsel in place. Right, now don't forget you need to have the green side on the outside. And you wind this on in open wraps. As I said, it's much closer to the tying of the original Gasolina. You won't get many wraps on. I think that's 4. You tie it off. And trim up the excess. Right, now there is a collar. And in this instance, it is red, and I'm using a Madeira red holographic, and it's number 515. So I'll just trim a piece off. And tie that in. I think I said in the video when I was fishing this on the river there's not a lot of room for materials, but you don't need a lot of room to tie this fly. So I'm just trimming up the excess. And before I wrap this on, I'm going to put a little more glue on the thorax area here to hold the tinsel in place. And there's not a lot of room for tying, so you only need 2 or 3 wraps. And tie it off. And trim up the excess. Right, I'm going to create a little black collar here as I tie it off. As you know, I'm not one for putting on black thorax. And I'm going to trim it up. Right, now I'm going to coat it with some UV, some thin UV, and as you know, I prefer thin UV because it doesn't bulk up the fly, and as a size 18 you don't want it bulked up. Give that a zap. And give it another light coat, which you can do with a thin UV. And give it another zap. Now this fly looks totally insignificant. The fact that it is a size 18. I have said to you on many occasions, if you think it's going to be difficult or you find it difficult on the river, size down. And with the thought of the cormorants and that there might be few fish around, I sized down. And this is what I fished. So I hope you enjoyed the tying. This is the early season Gasolina, and you really need to have these in your box at the beginning of the season. Thanks for viewing. Do subscribe and hit the bell if you're not already a subscriber, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.